10. Pain or hidden discomfort, the body's whisper. When a cat stretches in your presence, the gesture may at first seem casual, a slow arch of the back, a delicate elongation of paws against the floor. Yet sometimes this act is not only comfort, but a whisper of discomfort hidden beneath their fur. Cats, like humans, often express unease through the body before words, or in their case, before cries ever appear. A Persian easing into a long, almost strained stretch may be signaling the quiet onset of joint stiffness. A Maine Coon that holds its body low, stretching longer than usual, may be relieving tension in the belly. One woman, Maria, shared how her 12-year-old tabby began stretching strangely at twilight, his spine curving more deeply, his body pausing longer in the pose. That subtle act revealed kidney troubles that might have gone un. The cat's stretch became a spiritual message, urging her to pay closer attention not only to him, but to her own neglected body. In mystical traditions, the cat is a mirror. Their pain can become a silent oracle, showing us where we too are holding tension, where we too must bend, loosen, release. 9. Seeking your attention. The gentle summon. Cats are not as overt as dogs in demanding affection. Their ways are quieter, woven with elegance. A stretch carefully. Behaviorists call it conditioning. When the cat notices that a stretch brings a hand, a smile, a treat, they repeat it. But beyond science lies the deeper spiritual current. Cats remind us, imagine yourself scrolling endlessly on your phone. And there at your feet, your companion lengthens their. The cat has become an animal communicator, summoning you back to the moment, back to the pulse of life in front of you. In this sense, the stretch is more than a request for food or touch. It is God's message wrapped in fur, telling you, pause, remember the love that stands beside you. 10. Trust and vulnerability. The sacred surrender. To stretch fully is to reveal one's most vulnerable parts, the belly, the spine, the tender throat. In the wild, no creature would dare display such openness before an enemy. Yet your cat does it before you. Ethologists explain this as trust, but there is something more ethereal at work. To stretch before you is to surrender. It is a spiritual cat message of confidence. For months, she hid silent in the shadows of her new home. But one morning, as sunlight spilled across the kitchen floor, Lila walked forward and stretched deeply in front of her guardian. That first stretch was not mere muscle awakening. It was the opening of a covenant, the silent statement, "You are my sanctuary now." In that moment, both human and cat stepped onto the rainbow bridge of trust where past fears dissolved, calming the atmosphere, the silent mediator. There are times when the air in the home feels heavy after an argument, during moments of stress when silence itself seems thick. Their stretch becomes a ritual of release. Behaviorists compare it to dogs' displacement behaviors, the yawns or shakes that lower tension. A woman once told me of her calico who, after every quarrel with her husband, would walk into the center of the living room, stretch long and slow, and then simply lie there. It was as though the cat carried the conflict into her body, stretched it out, and laid it to rest. Spiritually, cats become mediators, priestly figures who transmute. They teach us that conflict cannot always be solved with words. Sometimes it must be softened with silence, released with breath, or dissolved in the sacred gesture of letting go. Through these 4 sacred signs, pain's whisper, the gentle summon, the surrender of trust, and the calming mediator, we begin to see that a cat's stretch, it is both physical and metaphysical, a blend of science and spirituality, a key to understanding not only their health and mood, but the deeper mysteries of companionship. When we watch closely, their behavior meaning unfolds as scripture written not on paper, but in motion, guiding us toward presence, compassion, and beyond healing and comfort. Stretching also carries messages of connection, joy, and sacred bonding. In the next part, we will step deeper into the heart of the mystic cat, where their movements speak of anticipation, play, and the radiant threads of love that tie their souls to ours. 6. Invitation to play. The joyful bow when a cat stretches with front paws extended and head low, it is not only biomechanics, it is a doorway opened between worlds. Ethologists recognize this as an invitation, but beneath the science lies a sacred cat. Spiritual meaning. Play is not frivolous, but a healing ritual. In the stretch of the mystic cat, there is laughter. Younger cats often stretch into play with bounding leaps, while older cats extend their bodies in gentler gestures, reminding us that joy has many shapes across time. One woman told of her senior Siamese who, though arthritic, still stretched before nudging forward a tattered toy mouse. The act was small but radiant. It carried the God message that delight does not fade with age, it only shifts into softer tones. To accept this invitation is to say yes to life, to remember that play is prayer in motion. 5. Excitement and anticipation. The heart knows before the mind. A cat that stretches as you lift the treat jar, lace your shoes, or reach for the leash is not simply preparing muscles, it is embodying the pulse of anticipation. Neuroscience tells us dopamine rises not at the moment of reward, but in the expectation of it. Cats mirror this stretching in a choreography of readiness, their bodies charged with unseen electricity. Yet spiritually, their stretching becomes a prophecy of joy. They sense your intention before you have spoken. It is as though cats and spirituality are braided their bodies, reading currents of thought long before words. In one home, a woman described her tabby mirroring her own morning stretch side. This mystical animal was not just copying, it was reflecting, synchronizing, reminding her that energy is shared. The lesson is clear yet mysterious. Your bond with your cat is not only affection, but alignment of spirit, anticipation woven like threads across invisible planes. 4. Physical comfort, the wisdom of the body. On the surface, stretching is an elegant maintenance act. Cats releasing tension, aligning joints, restoring circulation. Yet when viewed with spiritual eyes, this everyday movement carries profound symbolism. Cats, the masters of stillness, remind us through their stretching that stagnation must be followed by release. A gray tabby who spends hours curled on the windowsill does not leap up without first stretching every muscle. In that ritual, he teaches that healing requires both rest and motion. One guardian, after years of back pain, said she learned to listen to her cat's behavior, meaning every time he stretched after waking, she mirrored him. Slowly, her own body softened, her pain lessened. Here lies the miracle. Pets bring us not in words, but in embodied wisdom, showing us to honor the small rituals of care. Spiritually, every stretch is a shedding of old tension, a physical prayer, asking us to let go of what no longer serves. Awakening muscles, the dawn of movement. There is a reason cats stretch so often upon waking. In that act, they are not only preparing the body, they are invoking renewal. Biologically, the stretch sends oxygen through the bloodstream, shakes off stiffness, and primes the body for activity. At dawn, many mystic pets perform their first stretch beneath the rising sun, arching their spines as though greeting creation itself. One woman shared how her cat Luna would climb to the foot of her bed every morning, stretch luxuriously, then meet her eyes with a slow blink. For her, this ritual, in these movements, lies a spiritual awakening, a reminder that even in the smallest gestures, life renews itself. The mystical animals around us embody this truth daily, every morning. Stretch is a rainbow bridge. Cat message from the unseen, whispering that no night is final. In these sacred gestures, the invitation to play, the anticipation of joy, the wisdom of comfort, and the dawn of renewal, we glimpse the soul's language that cats speak without words. Each stretch is a message both practical and profound. Prepare your body, align with joy. Release old burdens, embrace new beginnings. For those attuned, the cat in dream meaning and in waking life is the same, a messenger bridging worlds, teaching us that every moment can be lived with more presence, more reverence, more wonder. Yet the story does not end with bonding. Beyond the language of joy and alignment, there is a deeper current, a sacred stream that flows from body and bond into spirit. In the final part, we will step into the mystical, where cats' stretches become not only gestures of health or play, but symbols of divine connection, soul messages of peace and blessings that reach beyond life itself. 2. Greeting ritual, the welcome home. Blessing, when you return home after hours away, your cat may rise slowly, arching into a long, graceful stretch before stepping toward you. At first glance, it seems like ordinary body language. Yet beneath this simple gesture lies a profound spiritual cat message. In many cultures, animals at the threshold of a home are seen as guardians of sacred space. In Japan, the maneki neko, the beckoning cat, symbolizes luck, protection, and welcome. When your cat greets you with a stretch, it is not just habit. It is a blessing, a silent benediction marking your safe return. One widow shared her story of coming home to an empty house after losing her husband. Every evening, her cat waited by the door, stretching before walking toward her. That gesture softened the silence, transforming loneliness into companionship. She began to see it as a sign. Even when life feels empty, there is still love waiting for me at the door. Spiritually, this ritual reminds us that we are never truly alone. Cats and spirituality are interwoven here. They stand as sentinels at life's thresholds, opening invisible doors to comfort, love, and divine presence. 1. Pure relaxation and joy. The soul at rest. To witness a cat stretching without purpose, no play, no food, no anticipation, is to glimpse pure being. In these moments, the mystic cat reveals the highest form of trust, complete ease, unguarded joy. Unlike the stretches that prepare for movement, this one is timeless. It is the body's hymn to safety, a prayer of stillness offered in your presence. Scientists might describe it as relaxation, but in the language of the soul, it is revelation. One hospice patient told of her companion cat, who stretched across her lap every afternoon just before drifting into sleep. For her, this was more than comfort. It was a living symbol of peace, a silent rainbow-bridged cat guiding her across fear into serenity. Each time the animal elongated its body, she felt her own spirit loosen, her heart soften, her breathing slow. That cat became a divine intervention, carrying her not away from life, but deeper into its sacred center. In truth, cats are miracle pets. In this sense, they show us that joy can be embodied without condition, that peace can exist here and now without striving. These stretches, whether greeting rituals or pure expressions of joy, teach us something our busy lives often obscure: to honor presence, to dwell fully in the sacred now. In every stretch, cats embody what mystics and prophets across centuries have spoken of, that the divine is not distant, but alive in ordinary gestures, in breath, in quiet companionship. To interpret the cat and dream meaning is to look inward. What do these movements awaken in you? Do they remind you of your own need for renewal, your longing for home, your hidden desire for rest? The mystical animals in our lives are not here only for our care. They are here to remind us of truths we have forgotten. Perhaps the most mysterious truth is this: when a cat stretches, it may not only be about them, it may be about you. Their sacred movements reflect your state, your energy, your soul's journey. When you are restless, they stretch to soften the atmosphere. When you are weary, they stretch to show the possibility of release. When you are lost, they stretch to remind you that home is not a place but a presence. This is why animal communicators often speak of cats as mirrors, mystic pets who reveal not only what they feel but what you carry. Their silent language becomes a form of prophecy, a gentle guidance leading you back to yourself, to God, to the eternal thread that connects all living things. Now I invite you to pause. Think of the last time your cat stretched before you. Was it a simple movement, or was it something more? Did you feel comfort, trust, perhaps even a quiet joy? Close your eyes and reflect, what message might your cat be offering your soul in that moment? These sacred signs are not accidents. They are invitations to slow down, to breathe, to listen more deeply to the divine whisper carried in fur and paw. If this reflection stirs something in you, let it be a reminder your cat is more than a companion. They are a teacher, a healer, a mystical guide bridging your world with the unseen. Cherish these moments and allow their lessons to soften your spirit. And if this journey has touched you, if these sacred truths have opened your heart a little wider, I invite you to join this growing circle of seekers. Like this video, share it with someone who needs comfort, and subscribe so we may continue to walk together, exploring the mysteries, the healing, the God messages hidden in the everyday lives of our beloved animals.